Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. So you might have seen from the title, you might be asking yourself, what is Squid Games? And then for those of you that know what Squid Games is, you're probably wondering, well, what does Squid Games and craps or craps tables have in common? So for those of you that don't know about Squid Games, Squid Games is a South Korean television series that is available at Netflix. They're going to be on season 2. I think they're going to have 3 seasons altogether. You say, well, what is Squid Games all about? I've only seen little snippets about it. I'll read you what is on the internet. Hundreds of cash-strapped contestants accept an invitation to compete in children's games for a tempting prize, but the stakes are deadly. So basically, they have like a tug of rope. They have red light, green light. You can watch red light, green light. So there's like a robot, and when they turn around, that's when you try to rush to the robot. And once you get past the robot, you're clear. But when the robot turns its head back, that's red light. If there's any movement, well, they get shot. Yeah, it's such a happy game. Anyhow, Brian Christopher was the first one to ever play. They have a slot game, Squid Games, and Brian Christopher was the first person to ever play it. And he played it in Yamava, and he played it in California, and he knocked it out of the park. He started with I think just $2,000, and by the time he was done, he had over $10,000 in the machine. It was just bonus after bonus after bonus. And I saw this and I was like, wow, if I ever see Squid Games, which I have in casinos, that's a game I would definitely want to try. Then I saw Vegas Matt try it. He put in, it was either 10,000 or 20,000. I'm thinking it's 10, but it was a high amount. I don't remember. And he couldn't get the game to trigger whatsoever. And if it was a dud. He came back, like a week later and goes, well, maybe I didn't give it a fair shake. He put another $5,000 into it and it gave him nothing. And he goes, that's it. I'm writing the game off. We're never going to play this again. And when I watched him, I don't watch any other YouTubers, but Vegas Matt, Brian Christopher, and Slot Queen. Those are the only 3 I ever watch. But Vegas Matt sat there and said that other YouTubers that do slots have said that is probably the worst game because it just does not give you your money back. In my experience, it was always seemed to be a fun game. It was Buffalo Link. I would watch those 3 YouTubers play Buffalo Link, and I was like, well, I would like to try that. That looks like fun. And every time I try to do it, I get wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. You can start off with 300, gone. You can start with 500, gone. You can start with 800, gone. So I went on a quest to figure out what it is I was doing wrong. And to this day, I don't know what it was. I finally figured out just go to the highest denom and just do either $30 a spin or $50 a spin. When I wasn't recording for Goldbug Slots, which is my wife, there was times I would get 5,000 on a bonus. There was times I would get 4,000, 3,000, 2,000. The thing was, you had to sit there and risk 1,000. Once you got done risking 1,000, as soon as you got paid, just go down to 1,000. You'd have another bonus. And again, you just keep on repeating this until you lost 1,000. You didn't get a bonus, and you walk away. Ellis Island had 3 of these. There was only one of the 3 that would do this for you. The other 2 would just take. This one, perfect every single time. Every single time, oh, I got $1,000. I'm going to sit there and do it. And you just get hand pay after hand pay after hand pay. I won something. It was like for Halloween or something. And I won $1,500 in slot credit. Free play. So I knew exactly what I was going to do. It was good for a year. So I didn't play it that weekend. I waited till I came back. I'm going to sit there and play it in my Buffalo Link. Why not? I know it's going to be a winner. And I believe I did $30. I don't think I released it, or if I did, no, it was awful. 1,500 gone. Gone. I mean, less than 10 minutes. Gone. I had zero, zero bonus. And it was at this time I sat there and said, no more. No more. They have taken out two of the games. I don't know what the other one, which one is the one left? Is the one I like or the two I didn't like? I have no idea. But to this day, I won't play that game. I won't play that game. I'll play something else because I tried it a couple more times afterwards. It would do the same thing, and I'm like, there's no sense of playing this game. Brian Christopher, believe it or not, he the last time he played it, he got wrecked, and the time before it was kind of a half. Yeah, I don't think he won everything, but he didn't win like he did on the first time that the game actually opened up. How many times do we do this at the craps table? How many times do we sit there and go to a craps table and lose? I mean, just get absolutely wrecked. You sit there and say, well, I don't understand it. I've practiced. I was doing my strategy, the practice strategy I do at home. I don't know what it is. I lose every single time I play this table. Can I tell you something? It might not be you. It might be the table. At one time, Ellis Island had two tables, and then they went to three tables. The newest one was the trampoline table. They fixed the trampoline table, and then they got rid of my favorite table, and they left the one that's been there forever. The table that has been there forever, I don't think I've ever gotten a tall or a small, ever. Now, on the other two tables, not a problem. They would refinish the table, still couldn't do it. I've tried playing the dark side, wrecked. I've tried playing the pass, wrecked. I've tried playing it late, I tried playing it. It didn't matter. It does not matter. So finally, you know what? I don't play at that table. I absolutely refuse to play at the table. Now, they only have two tables now. Actually, they have three. They have roll to win. But yeah, I don't like it. I liked it when it first came out. It was nice to throw on. And then I don't know what happened to it. There's two tables, the one I don't like and the X trampoline table, the one I do like, the one where I rolled over 40 times. For some reason, nobody likes the same table I don't like. They'll even change that table to a $5 table, and the X trampoline table is $10. And still, there might be one person there, but the X trampoline table is crowded. Every single time it's crowded. You say, why? Because people have figured out, stay away from this table. It's a bad table. Just like everyone figured out, stay away from this Buffalo Link. You can't win. You absolutely can't win. Same thing with Squid games. It's going to go quick because the game is too hard. They have Huff and Puff, a new one with a house on it. And I believe that one's going to go quickly too because that one is too hard to play. And when you do get a bonus, you only get 1/4 of what you put into it. They're making it so difficult that people are just going to play the same games that they're used to playing. So when you walk up to a new table, that's where I want to go with you through tonight. Or today. I'm doing it tonight. It's Monday night because I'm going to be going to G2E and look at all the new slot machines that they have coming out next year. I'll be in Vegas on Thursday for that and for Friday as well. But I'm going to walk you through it. If a table's been beating you badly, or if you're at a new table, I'm going to sit there and say, this is what I do. You might sit there and say, well, Jeff, you're wrong. We can still be friends. That's okay. I'm going to sit there and say some things that might hurt you, might offend you. You might sit there and say you're out of your mind. I don't know everything, and I don't think I know everything. I know I don't know everything. But please listen and please think about it. And I might be wrong on some things. That's fine. We can still be friends. The thing I'm going to show you is going to hurt feelings, but I think it might make you think and go, well, I'll try it that way once and see what happens. Because I'll talk you through what I do when I get to a table. And so there's 3 different roles I'll try. And if those 3 don't work, I'll go to the 4th one, and then I'll leave the table and I won't go back to that table. I want you guys to know what it is I do. I want you guys to know this. It's not secret information, but this is what I do. And remember, you got to be honest with yourself. Have you practiced? Have you been practicing? Is your strategy good? Is your dice set good? Can you roll more than 10 times at your homemade table? Because I don't want you trying this and go, well, that didn't work. You're wrong. I don't want that happening. So you got to ask yourself, is it the table or is it you? You can't be using scared money either, because scared money, it flies away. You can't be going, man, this is my last 100. I got to sit there and make it. I got to sit there and hit my numbers. It's just got to be regular money. It's got to be in your budget. If you lose it, you lose it. And if you gain it all back, you gain it all back. Because it's up here that matters. Scared money changes your grip, changes the way you throw, changes your mechanics, changes your thought process. You don't want to be there. I will be live this Friday. Now, guys, I've never asked for money. Ever. Ever have I asked for money. I'm not going to Patreon. It's all free. The only thing I ask is just subscribe. But, there's a big but. There is a charity event that I'm going to be going to on Friday, and I'll be live. If everything works right, I'll be live on Friday, and I'll be at that same table that I threw over 40 rolls. I don't know who else will be there, but it is a charity for my host. My host has done many things for many people. He's a great guy, and he has sat there and said, I want to have the YouTubers promote this and have fun together at the same time. And so Nick invited us all to come. There'll be slot people, there'll be blackjack people, there'll be dice people, and all I ask is just for a small donation, $5 during the live chat. If you want to do a super chat, everything you give me in a super chat, I will give to them. The charity is called Candle Lighters Childhood Cancer Foundation of Nevada. So basically, children that have cancer, to help them. That's all it is. And of course, if you've ever had children, with cancer, you know how tremendously difficult of a time this is, not only for you, but for your child. If you guys, during the live stream, want to sit there and do that, I will have a link in the description in this one. So if you don't want to do a super chat, you can just click onto that link and send it. You can choose $5, $10. I know times are tight. I know money is scarce. I know there's a lot of things you could be throwing your money at. And if you don't have it, you don't have it. That's not a problem. I'm not going to be hurt the least. But if you sit there and say, you know what, I'll sit there and do that. I'll join forces with you. I'll sit there and give you a super chat on Friday. Or if you want to do it tonight or today, which would be Thursday, that's not a problem. The link will be in the description. I don't know if I can put the link in the description on Friday when I am live, because I think it's just going to be myself doing the camera. My wife will be doing her thing, doing slots. And so any super chats I get, I will give it right to them. Now, the thing about super chat, say you give $100, truly I'm only going to get like 70 of it. I'll make up the difference. I don't care. It's for a good cause. So don't be afraid, well, you won't get the whole amount. don't worry. If you sit there and do 20, they're getting 20. If you sit there and do 100, they're getting 100. And when I come back next Thursday, I'll tell you, if I can tell how many super chats I had and how many people donated, and maybe what the whole entire, the slot, the whole charity event, how much money they took in for these children with cancer. And again, I try my hardest not to ever ask for money, and this is my one and only time. There might be other charity things in the future, and for charity, you know, as you guys know, I own a shop. I do a lot of things for the organizations here in town, the town I live in, and definitely a lot of things for the kids, because the kids are just kids, man. Um, they're stuck in predicaments, situations that are not controlled by their own. And so I'm always willing to help out the kids for sure, and the other organizations that reach out to help families as well. I think that's all I have. So this video, again, I'm going to sit there and say, please be kind, because I'm going to sit there and say, this is how I think it should be done. This is the way I do it. It might be different from the way you do it, but please, just listen. I don't know everything, and I don't ever say I do know everything. But this is how I would approach a new table, or a table that you've just been wrecked on, and you've promised me you're doing your practice. You have a great, a great strategy. You know your dice roll. This is what I would do, and it's 4 things, and you walk away. So here it is. All right, guys. I shouldn't have to talk about everything, because if you're ready to sit there and do this, you should already know where your favorite landing zone is. If you're doing your practice at home, you should know where you want to land the dice. You should know your dice sets. You should know which dice set you're going to use. You should know which the way you're going to throw and stuff like that. All I'm going to do is sit there and show you what I do. And again, it might be different than what you do. That's fine. The first thing I do is L1. If L1 is not available, I can easily go to R1. R1, I am right-handed, and I'm going to sit there and throw that direction. L1, same right hand, and it's going to be throwing that direction. The last thing I do is I do an underhand. The one thing I cannot do from L1 is an underhand from the left hand. It just doesn't work. So in this case, the underhand is going to be kind of like that if I'm stuck at R1. But again, my favorite spot is L1. When I was a little kid, I would sit there and sit as close to the front as I could possibly do, or could, to stay away from trouble and to make sure I fully concentrated on what the teacher was saying. So that's the reason why I would sit there and suggest L1, R1. You're closer to that wall than you would be, say, trying to swing way back here. There's far fewer mistakes going to be made at a closer range than a further range. The first thing I do is I will use the all 7 set. 1, 2, 6, 5. I know that the all 7 set works. I have proven that. And I'll sit there and try the 1, 7 set. I have my strategy going. I'm first time at the table, or if you haven't been to that casino for a while, I would definitely do minimum on the pass line because you've got to roll. If they have the all tall small, do $5 on the all. And that way you can keep track of the numbers that are being rolled. If you want to do a 6 and an 8, I would suggest doing that and nothing more. Because we have to make sure that this table is going to be the correct table for us before we put our invested hard-earned money in there. So, let's say you only did 5 rolls. You only did 5 rolls before you sevened out with the all 7 set. And it was not your fault. And when I say it wasn't your fault, I mean you didn't land too close to the bumpers. Your landing zone was perfect. You didn't hit a chip. Something to that effect. You did everything right, and the table just sat there and said, no, not today. Change your dice set. What I would do is change it to a 1, 2, 2, 1. And again, I am throwing front ways. I am not doing any backhand. This is where the controversy begins. Because people that do a backhand are going to get mad. In my humble, honest opinion, if you are one of those ones that do a backhand swing, I would suggest doing that as a last roll. The last thing before you leave the table. The reason why is because you put a spin on the dice. Your arc has got to be higher than playing it the way I just did it, front. Mine have no spin on it. They might spin a hair, but they have no spin on it. They don't go way up in the air. They stay tub level. And I think there's less. The closer you are from point A to point B, the better off you're going to be. I know people are going to get mad about that. Again, I don't know everything. If that dice set did not work, we're going to try another dice set. I give it 3 dice sets, and we are just doing forward, throwing, no spin, cross 6s, and we're going to turn it down 1. You say, why do you turn it down? You say, because it's too loud. These are the new casino tier dice I'm using. So the all 7s gave us less than 5 rolls. The 1, 2, 2, 1, same thing, less than 5 rolls. And then the cross 6s turned down did exactly the same thing. Again, we're trying to figure out, is it us or is it the table? The last thing I would do, and if you don't have a special dice set for doing the underhand toss, I would do, again, the all 7s, and I would grip it on the cut edge. And we're going to roll it this way. What I think the underhand toss really does is it cuts down on the bounce of a table. If you roll better underhandedly at that table's too bouncy. And all you're doing is compensating with an underhand toss the bounce of the table. If you did a forward toss, the dice would be over the table. If you were stuck at R1 and you're like, well, okay, well, I can shoot this way. How do I do my underhand toss? You sit there and set your dice. We'll use the same example. 1, 2, 6, 5. Grab it, cut edge. Now, as before, we were doing this way. This one, we're going to sit there and go forward with it. Just like that. It's a tumbling action. If that makes it so that you win more than the last three, the table is too bouncy. I ended up with a 7. I don't know why. Let's try that one more time. Oh, another 7. But it petered out. I don't use this roll often. I always get in trouble for it not going all the way down. Let's see if I can do it legally here. There we go. 5. And that was a controversy I talked about at the beginning. There are many people that do a fantastic job backhand. But I'm going to ask those people that do the backhand throw, are you doing it to compensate for the bounciness of the table? If you are, you need to find another table. There are plenty tables out there that are not that bouncy. If you land, I think you guys can see it. If you land here and the dice go up and over the table, you need to find yourself another table. It is no difference than me going over and playing Buffalo Link now, knowing what I know, and I'm going to lose my money. It's no different than me going to that one table at Ellis Island that I never win with $1,000 and expect for somehow it to be different. It's not going to be different. I have tried every which way you could ever imagine. Dark side, light side, every strategy you could ever think of, every way to throw it. I've been the only person there at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter how I did it. It's just a table that you can't win on. I don't know what's underneath it to make it that way. But other people have discovered the same exact thing. It is a table you cannot win on. So many people sit there and, in the comments, they email me, hey, I got this problem with this table. What am I doing wrong? You might not be doing anything wrong. You might be doing everything right, except you're not leaving. That might be the one thing that you aren't doing right, is you're not leaving that table and going to a different one. Now, just by sound, the better the table, for me, the more bass the table makes when the dice hit it. A table that is bouncy will not have that thud when the dice hit the table. A table that is bouncy, it's a higher pitch, is all I can tell you. And when you've seen enough tables, you sit there and hear that distinctive thud. That's what you're looking for. And the dice most of the time will stick. That's the type of table that you're looking for. If I could record it, I would. But they won't let me record it. In certain areas they will. But most of the time when I find a table that is just absolutely pristine, it has the perfect sound, and when you throw it, it doesn't hop all over the place. Those are the tables that you need to be looking for. Because we're here to dice set. If the table's not going to cooperate with your dice set, there's no sense of even putting money down. I hope that helped people. If it did, please let me know in the comments. If it didn't help you, like always, I'm there to answer your questions and comments. I don't know any other YouTuber that I try to do it within 3 days. Most of the time I do it within an hour. When I see a comment, I sit there and try my hardest to answer it right away. Makes me a little bit different, and that's fine. Different is okay in my book. And if you guys could help out with that charity, $1, $5, that would make me happy, and it would definitely make those children happy, and it would make my host happy as well that this all came together, and he brought it into a bigger spectrum and trying to raise more money and more awareness for the kids that have cancer. Thanks for watching, and we're going to go live on Friday if everything works correctly. Have a good one, guys.